Hey everybody, I'm Sari.
And I'm Sean.
And we're the Simpsons siblings. We talk about the Simpsons.
And we talk about them all the time.
We're just gonna slowly degrade that intro until it's just like,
I
we
feel like
talk.
I'm spot on. You're the one who...
I don't know. I try to change it every time, but it just kind of makes it weird. We've had a little bit of a gap since we've recorded. We told ourselves we were going to take a break in the summer, but we're going to do one more episode, and then we never got to that one more episode. So, yeah,
Life happened.
Life happens. But we were originally going to do a character study on Mona Simpson, and our brains were just mush.
Yeah, and life's starting to go back to normal with everything in the world too, and social lives are happening again. And...
yeah, so we decided we're gonna do something a little different for this last episode before our summer break. We're gonna do the first 4 Tracey Ullman shorts. We're just gonna kind of go through those, and maybe we'll get something a little different. Yeah. So, a little overview. The Tracey Ullman shorts started in 1987, aired as part of the Tracey Ullman Show, which was a comedy variety show that aired from 1987 to 1990, which it's weird to think that the show that helped The Simpsons come to be aired for such a short period of time.
Yeah, and then Simpsons came from that, and it's still around today.
Yeah, and... honestly, I say that I'm a Simpsons fan, but I've never seen a full episode of the Tracey Ullman Show. If you held up a picture and was like, "Is this Tracey Ullman?" I wouldn't know.
I'd say yes with a question mark.
Yes. So also, technically, is The Simpsons a spinoff?
Oh.
Think about it. All right, so the very first of these, which I think we've all seen, because this was in the 138th episode Spectacular, so I know that's where I saw this one a lot.
With Troy McClure.
Mm-hmm. There was also a season 30 episode where they showed this in the intro, I think, to mark the anniversary or something like that. So this has re-aired in future Simpsons episodes, but... here's your special Simpsons trivia. What was the first Simpsons episode?
Oh, it was the Christmas one with Santa's Little Helper.
No. Technically, that's the first full-length Simpsons episode, but the first episode, period, was Good Night, originally aired April 19th, 1987.
Brief synopsis. They say goodnight.
They do. Yeah, it's, these are all really short, but that's why they're called shorts. And it's weird if you think of Bart's character, and then you think, what were his first words? His first words were, "What is the mind?"
Bart, of all people.
Yeah, you'd think that'd be Lisa or something, but yeah, so he's asking Homer about the mind. And this will be my full-length Simpsons quote of the episode. What is mind? No matter. What is matter? Never mind.
And kind of silly on the part of Homer, but also kind of deep.
Yeah.
Like we're getting a lot out of Homer and Bart for their very first appearances ever.
Oh, yeah. And I think that's the line that I sort of took from this bit, too. Like, that's really the only kind of quotable line from this whole short, really. But
well, how many times have we said that to each other?
Oh yeah, that's one that I just repeat. That's the only line from any of the shorts that I really quote. But yeah, that's just a great quote.
And I like on this part, Homer's voice sounds so different. And like you said before, it's almost like the Frosty milkshakes, but it's even more so in the Ullman shorts. Mm-hmm. And then he does his laugh. That's so iconic. It's like he's so different, and then the laugh is there, and it's like, oh, that's the Homer I know.
You get that little tidbit of current Homer. And it's sort of interesting how they establish the characters from this first episode, because you have Bart asking the existential question, And then you have Lisa being scared of bugs. And then you have Maggie with the whole rockabye baby scene, which is kind of cute, and I guess it kind of shows her imagination.
To her credit, though, you really break it down. That's a scary lullaby.
Yeah, what is up with that?
Like, imagine if it was like a spoken short story. Like, we're going to put you in a cradle up in a tree, and then it's going to fall, and you'll come crashing down with everything.
What was that? It was like a middle season episode, and they had somebody reading in the park. What's his name? Oh my God, it's going to bug me. He was the guy that did the Cowbell. The Cowbell Skit. Why can't I think of his name?
Why can't I think of his name?
God, what is his name? It's like a really well-known actor.
It's like all I want to say is Chris Farley.
Dear God. No, it's not Chris Farley.
I don't know why it's the only... Will Ferrell.
No, not him. The guy that was the producer in that one. The guy that was Bruce Dickinson. Gosh, dang it.
Brain.
Christopher Walken.
Yes.
Oh my God. I kind of don't want to cut any of that because, man, we were so off. Okay.
Well, it's not like you went to, like, film school or anything.
Oh, yes. Thank you. That makes me feel much better. Anyways, there's a middle season episode where Christopher Walken is reading a children's book in his, like, kind of creepy voice, and all the kids are getting creeped out. Picture Rockabye Baby being said by Christopher Walken. And God, how foreboding that would be.
With all the extra commas and periods.
Yes, and you kind of talk like this. I can't do it. I can't do Christopher Walken. I'm not gonna attempt that any further. Anyways, it's interesting how they characterized all these characters. I feel like almost like Homer and Marge are the only ones that are sort of close to their future counterparts.
Yeah, well, even then, it's kind of weird. Homer said, "Oh, Marge, we're great parents," and then Marge just very plainly says, "Good night, dear."
Yeah, like she's maybe kind of self-doubting a little bit. Yeah.
It's like these are all familiar characters, but they're just different enough that they don't seem like the Simpsons that we know.
Yeah,
but,
definitely.
They didn't have the big old plan yet.
Yeah. I do also like how stylistically they kept the whole, when they're in the dark, you can still see their eyes.
Yeah.
Because that's a very Simpsons sort of style thing that you don't think about super often. And what was with their eyes sort of animating to what they were saying? Like there was a lot of, especially with Bart, his eyes kept like expanding and then contracting.
Yeah, there was one part where he was deep in thought where they kind of pop out of his skull.
Yeah.
And it's kind of creepy. Well, then at the end of each little scene, their eyes freak out in the dark as they have their closing thoughts.
Yeah, it's really, and like, especially Maggie's too. They're kind of just, it's I don't know. I'm kind of glad they didn't keep that sort of style for the new ones because it's kind of weird.
Too much thought in the eyes.
Yeah, they over animated that a little bit. So that's the first episode.
5 minutes talking about a minute.
Yeah, this is the only time where our commentary will be longer than the episode. Actually, never mind. Some of our commentaries have been longer than the episode.
Yeah.
But this is going to be like 5 times longer than the episode. So, the second episode, which, oh man, they deserve a Nobel Prize for this title. I don't know how they thought of it. It's called Watching TV.
So perfect.
Oh my gosh, it's so poetic. I'm crying. So...
I pictured as they're like running the script down to the office. There's no title. And someone in pencil scribbling in Watching TV.
Yes. Well, and come to think of it too, I don't even know. They probably never thought these were going to have any titles to begin with. Because it's not like they would be put in a TV guide or anything.
Yeah.
The titles were maybe just for production purposes so that they could keep track of them.
Maybe, because like when we see skits on SNL and everything, doesn't open with a title sequence or anything.
Yeah, exactly. So, Watching TV starts out right away, Bart and Lisa are fighting.
And Lisa is a bit more aggressive than she usually is.
She's on fire here. She's she's a bit of a brat. It's kind of weird. I kind of feel like they really didn't know what their sibling relationship was going to be. And so they were like, well, their siblings are going to be fighting.
Well, and also, we're looking really deep into this, but really, we've got 30-ish years of Simpsons to compare this to. Mm-hmm. Right now, we're on episode 2, minute 2 of knowing these characters. So
minute 2 of the entire series.
There's only so deep you can go.
Maybe we should cut them a little bit of slack. Also, I think at this point they never even thought that this was going to make it into a full show.
Oh no, and it makes you wonder how many little things are out there that could have had that potential. Mm-hmm. Just one thing happened where it got cut off.
Yeah, that's true. And it's also, something I've noticed in a lot of these is the lack of set dressing, just like the lack of anything on the walls.
Yeah, I wrote down for this one even, it's a plain room, but it's familiar.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing on the walls.
Yeah, it's really interesting. We kind of establish here the Simpsons' obsession with TV, because especially with earlier seasons, they really loved that TV. I can picture multiple scenes of people hugging the TV.
Oh no, the precious cable TV cable.
Little Marge. Little Bart. Little Lisa. And the rest. And it's like Maggie, Santa's little helper, and a TV.
Oh, I hope people are as
into
it as
because they're going to be like, what the heck are these people talking about now?
If you're not into random Simpsons quotes, why are you here?
Yeah, why are you here? What are you doing here?
Go home. The show's over.
At the end of this one, so they're fighting. Bart and Lisa are fighting through this whole thing. And randomly Maggie will come up and change the channel. And they'll be like, don't change the channel, even though they're not even paying attention to it. But at the end, the whole family is sitting there, and Homer's sitting there saying like, oh, look, we're bonding, we're talking, and all the stuff that they're not doing. And it kind of reminds me a little bit of There's No Disgrace Like Home, which is really kind of a weird episode, because at the beginning, Homer gives away their TV because he says they're watching too much TV.
Yeah.
Which is almost, because that's a season 1 episode. And that's almost what they originally wanted Homer's personality to be like. And then it just completely took a 180 after that.
Yeah.
So we're almost seeing a little precursor to season 1 Homer.
It's almost like, how every show at the beginning has like the experimenting and figuring out who the characters are?
Yeah.
Like this is the pre-development. It's almost like test episodes.
Yeah. It's like all of Parks and Recreation season 1.
Yeah.
Where like Leslie's kind of a jerk a little bit. I don't know if she's really a jerk, but she's like
a bit upset at her.
She's like
a bit of a jerk.
She knows what she did. All right, now we have Jumping Bart.
Again, great storytelling.
Oh yeah. Beautiful name. I'm loving it. It's such a weird setup just right from the beginning. Like, Bart is on a table. He's just standing on an empty table.
And then I was wondering, why are they doing this? And then they explain that, like, Bart has a fear of, like, falling down? Is that what he said?
Yeah. Like, that's... What? Well, even the way he put it was he has a fear of falling on his face.
Yeah.
That's such a specific... What?
Well, he must get over it, because then he later on gets on his skateboard all the time.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, because, 2 seasons from now, he's going to be trying to jump the gorge. What a weird setup. It kind of reminds you... So Homer wants Bart to jump into his arms. And it kind of reminds me when Homer's supposed to catch Marge at, like, that couples camp.
Yeah.
But wasn't he just not even there for that? I have a feeling that was when he was out fishing or something like that.
Yeah, and they'd have someone else as like a fill-in or something.
Yeah, and that's when Reverend Lovejoy's like, you know, I never tell any of the couples this, Marge, but it's entirely his fault.
Well, and this we kind of see where Homer's got that history of having the right intentions, wanting to do the right thing, but just failing at it.
Yep.
Or he's trying to get Bart over his fear of falling on his face, and instead lets him fall on his head several times.
Yeah, like trying to do the right thing the wrong way.
Yeah. Falls hard enough that the animators animate his eyes out of his head.
Yeah.
they kind of popped out and bounced back into place.
The animators loved messing with their eyes in these shorts. It's so weird. Also, when Homer walks away to go retrieve whatever he's doing...
Oh, the dictionary.
So they do that several times, and it's the exact same animation.
Oh.
They just reused it.
Why pay for a minute of animation when you can only pay for 45 seconds?
Yes, which another thing to think about is the shots don't really move in any of these scenes.
No.
Which is something I never really thought about.
It's all one static background.
Mm-hmm.
And they just had to do the cells for the animation.
Yeah.
I wonder what their budget was for these.
I would be really curious to know that. So now we have Babysitting Maggie.
Oh, an episode full of responsible people.
Oh, yes, very responsible people. And again, the lack of set dressing. And in this one, the house looks like it's completely rearranged.
I know. They have the couch there, and then they've got the hallway in the background. Giant walls. Couch in the middle of the living room with nothing around it.
I'm thinking back to the Real Jim's Simpsons house arrangement episode.
Oh, I love that one.
And I feel like just this one shot would make him probably want to pull out his hair because he tried so hard to get their house arrangement floor plan together, and this kind of throws some of it out the window. Like, they didn't have any continuity for that at this point. This one kind of made my mom instincts go a little haywire. I was like, what is happening to the baby? Oh, dear God. So we've got Maggie falling down the steps, and we got her on the roof.
She goes through the attic window, which there's not even any, like, window frames or anything. It's just a big open, like, port there.
Yeah. But we actually get a little bit of Maggie's sense of adventure here.
Yeah. Well, she got some speed on the roof, too, when she was chasing that butterfly.
And I was kind of thinking of when she escapes the daycare. Was it when she escape she escapes the daycare?
Yeah,
and she escapes the room at some point, and she fights off the babysitter bandit.
Yeah,
and she shoots Mr. Burns. Like, Maggie loves a little adventure.
Oh yeah,
she's a little firecracker.
And she's indestructible.
Yeah,
she falls off the second-story roof.
Oh my gosh. And I'm kind of thinking, you never really see the two of them watching Maggie after this, except for maybe that one episode where Lisa's a babysitter.
Yeah, your favorite episode.
I hate that episode so bad. I hate it so bad. I haven't watched it in years because I hate it so bad. Yeah, Maggie chasing the butterfly on the roof got an audible gasp out of me. Just because it was so out there.
I can confirm. There was a gasp.
Yes, there was a gasp. But the other thing is we don't really see Maggie cry a whole lot, like, ever.
Yeah, she cries when the butterfly flies away?
Yeah.
It's a very, like, extreme... It's extreme, but it's also one of the, like, the pre-made clips. Like, what's the word I'm looking for?
Oh, for the database, like a sound database.
Yeah, like kind of like a stock sound.
Yeah, exactly. And really, in just the whole series, if you think about a baby character, you're thinking, oh, that baby's going to be crying a lot. But Maggie doesn't really cry.
Yeah.
She's a pretty easy baby. And I have to mention, too, on the episode description on here, it mentioned Maggie getting electrocuted by putting a fork in a socket. And then it was nowhere in the episode.
Yeah, I don't know if we have, like, a different version.
Yeah.
Because the first thing when the scene opens, I noticed the fork on the ground by the outlet.
Yeah. So I'm wondering if that's something that they cut for subsequent reshowings. Because I noticed, I know there's no real official re-release of these, I don't think. So we kind of got ours off of like YouTube or something.
Yeah.
And I noticed it has Comedy Central in the corner of some of them, which may have been where they re-aired. And I'm wondering if they cut those parts out for re-airings, because honestly, that's a bit intense to have, even for The Simpsons, to have a baby putting a fork into a socket and getting electrocuted.
Yeah.
Like, that's pretty intense, and I don't know, I kind of wouldn't want to see that, but it's kind of interesting that that might have been in the episode and they took it out, just as a sort of trivia.
And I know technically everyone in The Simpsons, their age is kind of timeless. They don't age that much.
Mm-hmm.
But in these shorts, the maturity level's definitely a bit lower.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm surprised that they were allowed to babysit Maggie to begin with.
Yes.
But, you know, cartoon logic.
Yeah, and I feel like they didn't really establish the nuance either. Like, they just say, okay, Marge and Homer are irresponsible. And yes, that's true for all the episodes, but this is almost like an extreme level of irresponsibility, whereas in modern Simpsons and even just beginning Simpsons, they're functional. They're just, irresponsible.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. So that was 4 Tracey Ullman shorts.
Yeah.
The first 4. And we're honestly thinking for the future, when we come back in September,
Yes.
we will be starting our Patreon. And we're going to have the Tracey Ullman shorts going forward that we analyze are going to be on the Patreon for patrons to listen to, along with other little perks and such. And yeah, until then, we're taking a break till September.
Yeah. Thanks to everyone who's listened so far. I know we definitely have more listens on our stats page than I ever expected. It's pretty cool that people are listening. And
yeah,
we kind of did this as a going in for fun. We don't really care how many people listen, but it's cool to see you guys tagging along. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. We really appreciate you all. And well, I guess this will be considered our season finale of season 1. And we'll start back up in September. And I don't even know what our next episode's going to be.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out. We'll put it on our Twitter page, at SimpsonsSibs on Twitter. I'll probably just be, retweeting random Simpsons quotes up until September. And then, announcing our new episodes and such. So, thank you so much for listening. We really appreciate you. And that's the end of season 1. So, until September... Bye, everybody.